The old asylum loomed on the hill, its silhouette a dark foreboding presence against the sky. The building seemed to breathe with a life of its own, each creak and groan a testament to its age and the secrets it held within. A specter against the bruised twilight, the asylum stood as a silent witness to the passage of time. Shadows danced around its perimeter, as if the spirits of the past were still restless, unable to find peace. It was once a beacon of hope, a place where the troubled sought solace and healing. Now it is a decaying monument to despair, its walls echoing with the cries of those who were forgotten. Its windows, like vacant eyes, stared out blankly. They were judging, accusing as if they could see into the very soul of anyone who dared to approach. The glass, cracked and broken, seemed to weep for the lost and the damned. The wind howled through the crumbling edifice, a mournful wail that spoke of loneliness and abandonment. It carried with it the whispers of the past, tales of lives shattered and dreams unfulfilled. It whispered tales of unimaginable suffering, of treatments that were more torture than cure, of souls broken beyond repair. The walls seemed to absorb these stories, holding them within their decaying structure. A shiver ran down my spine as I stepped closer. The air was thick with an oppressive energy, a palpable sense of dread that seemed to seep into my very bones. Every step felt like a journey into the unknown. This was a place of sorrow, of pain, of forgotten souls. The walls were lined with the remnants of a time long past, each piece of debris a fragment of a story left untold. The silence was deafening, broken only by the occasional creak of the building settling. The iron gates groaned open, their rusted hinges protesting the intrusion. They were reluctant to reveal their secrets, as if they were guardians of the horrors that lay within. They were reluctant to reveal their secrets, each creak a warning to turn back. But curiosity, or perhaps a sense of duty, pushed me forward. The air grew heavy, thick with the weight of countless unspoken tragedies. It was as if the very atmosphere was saturated with the sorrow and pain of those who had once walked these halls. The stench of decay permeated the air, a nauseating reminder of the building's grim history. It was a smell that spoke of death and neglect, of lives that had been left to rot away in the darkness. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for what lay ahead. The journey through the asylum would not be easy, but it was a path I felt compelled to take. Each step was a confrontation with the past, a challenge to uncover the truth. Fear was a luxury I couldn't afford. Not here. In this place, fear could paralyze, could lead to mistakes. I had to remain focused, determined, ready to face whatever horrors awaited me in the shadows.
My name is Alex, and I'm a paranormal investigator. For as long as I can remember, the mysteries of the unseen have fascinated me. The thrill of uncovering what lies beyond our understanding drives me forward. Drawn to the unknown, I seek answers in the shadows. Each investigation is a journey into the depths of the unexplained, a quest to shed light on the darkness that surrounds us. Tonight, I was stepping into the abyss. The air was thick with anticipation, and the silence was almost deafening. Every creak and whisper seemed to beckon me further into the unknown. My backpack was laden with equipment, EMF readers, digital recorders, and infrared cameras. Each piece meticulously chosen, each tool a vital part of my arsenal against the unseen. Tools of my trade, extensions of my senses. They allow me to perceive what the naked eye cannot, to hear what the ears might miss, and to feel the presence of those who linger in the shadows. They would help me navigate this labyrinth of darkness. Each step I took was measured, each movement calculated. The asylum was a maze of memories, a place where the past and present intertwined. The asylum called to me a siren's song of sorrow. Its walls whispered tales of despair and anguish, stories of those who had been forgotten by time. I had heard the stories, the rumors of tortured souls trapped within its walls. Each tale more chilling than the last, each account a piece of the puzzle I was determined to solve. Tonight, I would confront those stories. I would walk the same halls, breathe the same air, and perhaps, if I was fortunate, I would make contact with the spirits that haunted this place. I would face the echoes of the forgotten. With every step, I braced myself for what lay ahead, ready to uncover the secrets that the asylum held within its decaying walls.
Cranbrook Mental Asylum. Once a sanctuary for the mentally ill, it descended into madness. Patients were subjected to horrific medical experiments, lobotomy, electroshock therapy, and worse. Their screams echoed through the halls, unheard and unheeded. Then came the disappearances, patients vanishing without a trace, their fates shrouded in mystery. The asylum was shut down, deemed unsafe, but the horrors lingered, imprinted on the very fabric of the building.
The air inside was stagnant, choked with dust and the faint scent of decay. I walked through the deserted corridors, each step echoing in the oppressive silence. The shadows seemed to dance at the edge of my vision, fleeting glimpses of movement that vanished when I turned my head. A cold draft brushed past my cheek. The hair on the back of my neck stood on end. I wasn't alone. I could feel it, a presence lurking just beyond my perception, watching me, waiting for me to make a mistake. Section 5. Cell of Torment. I reached a cell at the end of the hall. The journey through the asylum had been harrowing, each step echoing with the ghosts of the past. The walls seemed to close in, whispering secrets of the tormented souls that once inhabited this forsaken place. It was colder here, the air thick with a palpable sense of dread. The temperature seemed to drop with every step I took, as if the very essence of despair had seeped into the walls, chilling the air around me. The cell door hung open, its rusted hinges groaning like the cries of the damned. The sound was almost human, a mournful wail that sent shivers down my spine. It was as if the door itself was alive, a sentinel guarding the horrors within. Peering inside, I saw the remnants of a padded room. The padding was torn and decayed, a testament to the violent struggles that had taken place here. The walls seemed to pulse with a life of their own, each tear and rip a scar in the fabric of reality. Straps hung limply from the walls, stained with what looked like blood. These restraints had once held the most tormented of souls, their suffering etched into the very fabric of the room. The stains told stories of pain and anguish, of lives shattered and minds broken. This was a place of unimaginable suffering. The very air seemed to vibrate with the echoes of screams long silenced, a haunting symphony of despair that played on an endless loop. The room was a monument to human suffering, a shrine to the broken and the lost. The energy here was heavy, suffocating. It pressed down on me like a physical weight, making it hard to breathe. Every breath I took felt like an intrusion, a violation of the sanctity of this place of torment. I could feel a presence, strong and malevolent, emanating from the very walls. It was as if the asylum itself was alive, a sentient being feeding off the misery and despair of its inhabitants. The presence was almost tangible, a dark force that seemed to watch my every move. It was the epicenter of the asylum's darkness. This cell was the heart of the torment, the place where the most broken of souls were sent to be forgotten. It was a place where hope had no meaning, where the only escape was madness or death. The darkness here was absolute, a void that consumed everything in its path. Section 6. A Sorrowful Presence. As I stepped into the cell, the temperature plummeted. A wave of despair washed over me, so intense it nearly took my breath away. Then I saw him, a figure huddled in the corner, shrouded in shadow. He was tall and gaunt, with long, stringy hair and eyes that burned with a cold, ethereal light. He didn't speak, but his sorrow was palpable. It filled the cell, choking the air from my lungs.
Section 7. Unearthing the Truth. Days turned into weeks as I delved deeper into the asylum's history. I spent countless hours poring over old documents, dusty files filled with forgotten tragedies. The asylum's past was a tapestry of horror, woven with threads of cruelty and despair. I uncovered records of inhumane experiments, of patients driven to madness by the very treatments meant to heal them. One name kept resurfacing: Samuel Barnes. A patient admitted for melancholia, he became a victim of the asylum's cruelest experiments.
Section 8. The Asylum Awakens. As I unearthed more about Samuel and the asylum's dark past, the paranormal activity intensified. Doors slammed shut on their own. Disembodied whispers taunted me in the darkness. The asylum was coming alive, fueled by the unearthed secrets I had uncovered. It was as if the spirits were angered by my intrusion, determined to drive me away from their domain. But I wouldn't be deterred. I had come too far to turn back now. Section 9. The Doctor's Remorse. One night, as I stood in the asylum's dilapidated library, I felt a presence behind me. Turning, I came face to face with a spectral figure. He He was dressed in a doctor's coat, his features twisted in an expression of eternal remorse. This was Dr. Henry Crane, the man responsible for Samuel's suffering.
I never meant for any of this to happen. I was trying to help them, but I went too far.
I knew what I had to do. I gathered candles and incense, creating a circle of protection in the heart of the asylum. Standing in the center, I performed a ritual, my voice resonating through the empty halls. "Samuel Barnes," I called out, my voice echoing through the silence. "Dr. Crane, I know you are trapped here, bound by your pain and regret, but it is time for you to find peace." As the last of the incense burned away, a sense of calm descended over the asylum. The air, once thick with dread, felt lighter, cleaner. The spectral figures of Samuel and Dr. Crane stood before me, their forms shimmering faintly in the dim light. Then, with a soft sigh, they faded away, their forms dissolving into motes of light. The asylum was finally at peace. The experience left me shaken but changed. I had confronted the darkness not just within the asylum's walls, but within myself. I had learned that sometimes the greatest horrors are not perpetrated by monsters but by men, and that even in the darkest of places there is always hope for redemption. I continued to investigate the paranormal, drawn to the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding. But I will never forget my time at Cranbrook. It taught me that the past is never truly gone. It lives on in the echoes of the forgotten, waiting for someone to listen. It is our duty to remember, to learn from the past, and to ensure that such horrors are never repeated.